Hello and welcome to the Level Up online classes. So, the students, we will continue from where we had stopped last time. Okay. So, before we go ahead, we will just take a quick revision of what we had learned in the previous classes. So, we were discussing on the topic, sorry, the chapter democracy in the contemporary world, and our very first chapter itself. We have discussed, we have learned about the word democracy and what is meant by democracy. I had explained you in a very simple term. And okay, so in this we had discussed a very first topic was two tales of democracy. And in this chapter we had taken ourselves to Chile. Okay, Chile is a country in South America, which I had already told you. Okay, and in this very first, before we started, we had seen a small story, and this story was on the then president of Chile, Mr. Salvador Allende. Okay, we had seen who was Salvador Allende and what had happened to him. Okay, so Salvador Allende was the president of Chile in the late 1970s. Okay, he had won the election in the year 1970, and he ruled Chile for about 3 years or so, and he died on the morning of 11th September 1973. And so we had also discussed what were the different changes he had tried to bring in Chile. He knew Chile, was filled with a lot of, problems, a lot of corruption, this and that. So he wanted to bring a change in Chile. So he started, working. His main focus was the poor and the workers, the laborers. Okay, so in the process of trying to bring about reforms, in the process of trying to bring about changes in the existing scenario, he had to go through, a lot of hardships. He had, unknowingly developed so many enemies. Now, who were those enemies? The enemies were the rich people, the landlords, the big churches, and some other, his opposition political parties. Okay. He had almost developed enemies from all these big, big, big people, big churches, and big political parties. So these people, the people who was not happy with his, the new policies, new rules, they tried to get this fellow down. They tried to, kill him. What happened in the morning of 11th September 1973? With the help of military, with the help of army, okay, they first arrested the defense minister. Okay. Then the commander, okay, the commander of the military asked the president, Mr. Salvador Allende, to resign from the president's post. But Mr. Allende was very firm of his ideas. He was very, very confident of what he was trying to, bring about in the country of Chile. He wanted to bring changes. So he was very determined with his ideas, with his philosophies, with his, reform plans. But at the very same time, few people were jealous, few people were unhappy because they were not benefiting from these reforms. The reforms benefited only the poor and the laborers, with which these people, the rich, were not happy. So they tried to get him down. What they did, the leader of the military asked Mr. Allende to step down, and he refused. He refused to get down. Okay, so he knew his life was in danger. He knew he was going to be killed. He knew his country was in danger. So what he did in the morning before he died, he gave speech, using a radio. So in his speech, what he told was very simple. He said, these things. Okay, he said, I have faith in my country. I have faith in in the workers of my country. Okay, he said, there will be people who will try to you know uh, bring darkness back to Chile. He was, Allende was of the thought that he will, get out Chile from the darkness to the light. He said, I'm in my process of bringing Chile out of the darkness to the light. There will be people, there will be many people who will try to he will try to put down Chile into the darkness. But do not be afraid of this. Okay? This won't last for a longer period of time. This will eventually, fade away. Again, the society will, you know, enlighten, be enlightened into lightness, into true lightness. Okay, so these were the last words he shared with the people of Chile before he could be killed. Okay, and so the military surrounded his in his house. They started bombing the house, and that's how he was killed. Okay, and the main culprit behind this murder was, General Augusto Pinochet. Okay, he was the army general who led this, who led this attack, who led this violence. Okay, and so subsequently, Mr. Pinochet was elected as the president after he killed Mr. Allende, and he ruled Chile for about 17 years before he was defeated. Okay, and after he was elected as the president, he tried to, he was very harsh, he was very cruel. Okay, he tried to punish all the people who supported Allende's philosophy, who supported Allende's ideas. Okay, many people were killed. Okay, all the poor, the laborers were made to suffer under his regime. Okay, there were about 3,000 people killed, and many people were missing in his regime of 17 years as president. Okay, and he also killed one, general of the Chilean Air Force, Mr. Alberto Bachelet. Okay, Mr. Alberto Bachelet was the general of the Chile Air Force, like we have Indian Air Force, right? So same way they have Chilean Air Force. Right? He was killed, and his wife and his daughter were arrested and put in the prison, and they were tortured. Okay? Now, so moving ahead, so this up till here we have discussed like what happened in Chile from democracy, how it went to dictatorship. Now democracy में क्या होता है? Democracy we have discussed, it's wherein the people elect their representative. Like in India we have elections, like okay, so same way in Chile there was democracy. People elected Mr. Allende as their president, but Mr. Pinochet, he killed Mr. Allende, and he started ruling the whole country, Chile, for about 17 years. Okay. Now, when only one person rules the whole country, that is known as dictatorship. Okay. And when a country is ruled, okay, keeping in view the opinions and suggestions of the people, when a government is elected through people, it is a democracy. And when someone दादागिरी से प्रेसिडेंट बन जाता है या प्राइम मिनिस्टर बन जाता है, इट इज नॉट एज डिक्टेटरशिप. डिक्टेटरशिप में क्या होता है? एक ही आदमी का बोलना होता है, सिर्फ एक ही आदमी राजा होता है. Okay, one fellow just rules the whole country. It is not a dictatorship. Okay, so we have seen two different phases, two different tales of Chile, from democracy to dictatorship. Now we will reverse. Okay? अभी हम लोग dictatorship से फिर वापस democracy में चले. So we have seen democracy to dictatorship. The process we have discussed. How has Chile from democracy turned into dictatorship? What were the different different events that took place in this process of turning Chile from democracy to dictatorship? Now we will learn how Chile once again moved back to democratic country from dictatorship of Mr. Pinochet. Okay, Augusto Pinochet. Now, the next subtopic is restoration of democracy. Okay, we will discuss a very small topic. This will end uh, our story with Chile. Okay, and the next subtopic is a different subtopic. So we won't merge these two things together. So it will simply confuse us. Okay. Now, so we will finish with, okay, this is a very small topic that is left for us. Okay. So it was in the year 1988. Was in the year 1988. Okay, people had to face a lot of problems and sufferings in the time when uh, Pinochet was the president of Chile. Okay. He made people torture, he made people suffer, and so people were not very happy with him. Okay. So what Mr. Pinochet decided, let's have a referendum. Now, a referendum is what? Referendum का मतलब क्या है कि suppose एक आइडिया को लेके if people are not happy, so you hold a referendum. Basically you let the people vote. Suppose I impose a policy or an idea, but people are not very happy of it. Okay. So just to satisfy yourself and your uh, your idea, you hold a referendum when you ask people to vote. You vote, let's see who wins. Okay. So Pinochet in the year 1988 he held a referendum, and he was so confident that people will vote for his ideas. People will vote him again as their president. He was very confident about it. But at the very same time, the people of Chile, they already have got the taste of democracy. They have already tasted the flavor of democracy. They know democracy is something which gives them the right, the basic human rights, the basic fundamental rights. They've already tasted the sweet flavor of democracy. And this fellow Pinochet, he made them suffer for 17 long years. So people are not fool enough to vote him again as the president. So these people got chance when Pinochet, decided to hold a referendum. They got a chance to get him down. So this was one big chance for the people of Chile to get Pinochet down and elect somebody who will work for them, get back, restore back democracy. So what happened ultimately? Pinochet lost. People didn't vote for him. People voted against him, and you know, he was thrown down from the presidency. Okay. Then slowly he also lost his military power. He lost his political power as president, and he lost his military power also. Okay. And now what happens? You know the words that Allende spoke before he died. He said, there will be some people who will try to bring darkness back to Chile, but it won't last for a long period of time. There will be time when we will see enlightenment. So this is what the enlightenment he was talking about. He said people, okay. So Pinochet was thrown down from the president's post. He was thrown down from uh, uh, military power. His military power was taken away. Okay. So and what happened next? So political freedom was restored. Political freedom was restored in Chile. People were able to, vote their own desired representatives. Okay. So after the fall down of Pinochet, okay, slowly and gradually, freedom started. People started, to realize back the democracy, the freedom that they had when Allende was the president. Likewise, after the fall of Pinochet, Chile had four, presidential elections, and many political parties participated in the past, four elections. Okay, and slowly, what happened? Even the army role in government started, started to decrease. Initially, what happened? Like during the time after the time of during the time of this fellow Pinochet, what happened? Military used to rule the country. But after his downfall, slowly, even the military ruled in the country's government started to, decline, started to eliminate. Khatam ho gaya. Okay. Then, after the downfall of Pinochet, after he was defeated in the referendum, okay, the government that came to power, they started, investigating Pinochet's government. They tried to, inquire about Pinochet's government. And when they inquired, they found out that Pinochet was not only cruel, he was not only evil, he was also very corrupt. Lot of corruptions took place when Pinochet was the president of Chile for 17 years. Okay, lots and lots of corruption. Okay, so this is what happens now. Now we will jump to 2006. Okay, we will jump into contemporary, for a modern world. Okay, you remember we have learned here. We have learned here. Okay, this line. General Alberto Bachelet, जिसको पिनोशे ने मार दिया था, उसको मारने के बाद उसका पत्नी और उसका डॉटर को जेल में डाल दिया था. Remember that? Okay. So in the year 2006, जनरल बेशेलिट का डॉटर, अगुस्तो जनरल का डॉटर, जिसको जेल में डाला था, okay, she fought election. Okay, she also contested for election in the year 2006. January 2006 को उसने भी president का election में contest किया, and she won the elections, and her name was Michelle Bachelet. Okay, Michelle Bachelet is the daughter of Augusto Bachelet. Okay, and she won the election. Okay, she's a doctor by profession, and her ideology was, a socialist like IND. She was a social, moderate socialist, not totally, थोड़ा, moderate socialist. Moderate मतलब थोड़ा थोड़ा, ज़्यादा नहीं, पूरा भी नहीं, बीच middle. Okay, and when she contested the election in the year 2006, okay, she defeated one of the richest persons in Chile. One of the richest person of Chile. She defeated one of the richest person of Chile, and she became the president of Chile in the year 2006. Okay, now if you look here, if you look into this photo, this lady in red jacket, this is Michelle Bachelet. Okay, she was addressing the public after she won the election. Okay, now let us look at what she said after she won the election. Because I was the victim of hatred, I have dedicated my life to reverse that hatred and turn it into understanding, tolerance, and why not say into love. Now, what she is saying in her public address after she won the election, she tells the public, I have been a victim of hatred. Her father was killed. She and her mother was put in the prison. Okay, she said, I have gone through all these problems, great problems, and I understand what it means to be in a position of hatred. So I had decided that I will restore back peace. I will, I will destroy the hatred. I will bring back love, peace, and understanding back in Chile. So these were the words of Miss Michelle Bachelet after she won the election, after defeating one of the richest person of Chile. Okay, so this is where we will stop today, because a very small topic was left. So the next time when we meet, we will look back, we will look into a new different story. Okay, यहाँ पे we have discussed, we were in Chile. Now we will shift to Poland. Okay, democracy in Poland will be our next subtopic the next time when we meet. Okay, so thank you, students, and I hope you will be able to understand what I taught. And if you're not able to follow my teaching, please ask me. Okay, thank you.